What's going on, everyone? Surgical Snipes here, back at it again with another FC Mobile video. What is going on, everyone? In this video, I'm going to be talking about FC Mobile psychology. All right, I'm going to be talking about FC Mobile psychology and what it takes to become an elite FC Mobile player. All right, so this is going to be some advice here. I'm going to be talking about how to have the right mindset going into playing FC Mobile competitively. You know, there's a lot to cover here. So let's start from the very beginning. So if you want to become an elite competitive or even just a good overall FC Mobile player, you're going to have to first start with the mindset. Okay, so you're going to have to ask yourself, what do I want to do in FC Mobile? Do I want to be a casual player? Do I want to be a competitive player? Do I want to become even a pro player? You see, so there's so many things you have to consider first of what you're doing in FC Mobile. You know, if you want to just be a casual player and play the game, wins, losses, it doesn't matter, then by all means, that's fine. Playing the game like this, you don't have to worry about stressing about anything. You're just here to have a good time. And that's what games are for in the first place, right? Just to have a good time. To relax and chill. But as we all know, games like FC Mobile and other sport games in general, it gets really competitive, and people really stress out about this. You don't have to look far. Just if you go search on YouTube, you just type in FIFA Rage, and you will see players going crazy just because the other guy scored another goal on him. So people really tilt, people really rage on shit like this, and not just this game, but so many other different games also, because nobody likes to lose. You know, so you got people freaking breaking their freaking keyboards and destroying their whole room even just because another guy scored a goal on him. So it is what it is. It's real, and there's a way how to fix that. There's a way how to avoid all that, to not let it get to you. That way you don't freaking go crazy, and rage just because another guy scored a goal on you. Because players are gonna score goals against you. You know, take this advice from me. The number one player of the entire game. You know, I freaking concede goals all the time. It's all part of the game. Sometimes I can get clean sheets and my opponent doesn't score goals on me, but you know, you have to expect the other player is going to score goals on you. It's going to happen. So by knowing this, it won't be that much of a surprise and that much of a big deal when it does happen, because it's going to happen. It happens to everybody. Nobody is exempt from this. Everybody's going to get goals, concede goals. It happens to me, the number one player of the entire game. So if it happens to me, you sure enough, it's gonna happen to you. So don't trip about it. Don't worry about it. So, like I was saying, if you want to become a casual player, that's fine. You can play the game as a casual player. Wins, losses, it doesn't matter. So you're just here to have a good time. Okay, now if you want to become a competitive player, to possibly even become a pro one day, even, or just to have become an FC champion, for example, you're gonna have to have the proper mindset going into this because it's very competitive, especially in Legendary Division and FC Champion. You know, most players will not make FC Champion, right? I think that's only like for reserved for like the top 2 million players or something along those lines. It's either top 2 or 3 million players who are FC Champion, and how many players play the game? There's millions of players that play the game. So you have to get in your head that it's just a mindset thing. If you get the mindset right, then you're going to be able to perform. It's a performance. At the end of the day, it's a performance. If you want to win matches in high elo, right, Legendary Division and FC Champion Division, you're going to have to really focus on your mindset, which is, not tilting, being calm during the whole match, training in the training grounds there, and in the training grounds, knowing your skill moves, knowing how to pass, knowing how to shoot, knowing how to defend, right? There's a lot of different elements to the game, right? You have to. It's a combination. You have to have. It's like solving a puzzle. You have to freaking, you know, combine all these things, the fundamentals, the basics, the advanced, intermediate, advanced tactics in order to score the goal. So there's a lot that goes into it, right? One little mistake here, one little mistake there, and then that will cost you the game. If you lose possession right away, you're gonna have to learn how to move with the ball and know when to use your skill moves. If you're good with that and you're able to get to the box to score the goals, but you're not scoring the goals, then you have to work on your shooting. You see? But let's say you know how to do offense, you know how to shoot, you know how to dribble, but then when your opponent gets possession, then they just run right past you. That means you got to work on your defense, knowing when to tackle, knowing when to double team, knowing when to bring your keeper out. Those kind of things you're going to have to know if you want to be a competitive FC mobile player. So that's what it is, y'all. Me, for example, I play with a 93 overall team, 93 OVR team, and for me, the mental part, I learned this right away when starting my FC mobile journey. Now I can go into details on and on and on, but I'm not editing this video, so I'm just going off the top of my head. So I don't want to go too crazy with the ranting part. But let's say here, with this long story short, the way I figured it out on how to deal with the whole psychology part, the mindset of not tripping about losing matches, is I use a 93 overall team. I use a 93 OVR gold team, either 93 or a 94 OVR gold team, and that's what it is. That's all I do. I freaking use a gold team, and I'm going up against players who have 20 plus my OVR. Right? Most players are nowadays. We're in 2026 now, so most players are running at least 115 OVR teams. So I'm always pretty much going up against players who are 20 plus my OVR. who have 20 plus OVR more than I do. And I was able to climb to FC champion division multiple seasons just using this team, just using a gold team. So that's how I knew. That's how I knew I'm the number one player of the entire freaking game, of the entire game. Nobody else does what I do in this game. And yeah, the tournament players, I haven't gone to an FC Mobile tournament. I haven't been invited by EA yet. I don't think EA even knows I exist yet. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know. But I'm trying to get my name out there and to let everyone know. Going on the FC Mobile Discord and all that every now and then, even though I haven't been on there for a while. But if you know, you know what I'm saying? It's not that hard to understand my story, Long story short, bottom line is I use a gold team to climb to FC champion. When I do get serious about actually climbing out of legendary division, right? I don't do it every season because I'm not active every season. I don't try to push for FC champion every single time because it takes a lot out of me. It's a lot. It's difficult. It's not an easy thing. Let me say. let me tell y'all. It's not. If I do say it, man, it's not an easy thing. Because nobody else does that shit, right? Nobody fucking plays the game like this. Nobody even attempts to even try it because it's like an insane thing, right? It's an impossible thing to do this shit under these conditions. I mean, shit, I'm going up against players 20 plus my fucking OVR, man. Anyways, I can go on and on about that shit, right? As you all know, for my audience that knows, I like to rant about this shit, to talk about this. But what I'm trying to say here is, you have to not let the losses get to you, or if you're in the middle of a match and the guy's scoring 1 or 2 goals, if he's 1 or 2 goals ahead of you, if you let that get to you, then you lost already, pretty much. Or if you're playing scared, if you're playing nervous or you're playing scared, maybe you're going up against a player that that's a very really good player or something, some shit like that. Maybe you're going up against a pro player. Maybe you're going up against a player you saw on the leaderboard in the top 250 or whatever it is that's causing you to be nervous or even scared. Some people actually get scared of the other opponent, man. Believe it or not. People freeze and they won't even admit it. Most people won't even admit it, But it's real, It's real, A lot of people try to, block that out. They try to say, "Oh, no, no, and I'm not scared of my opponent," or I'm not nervous at all. If they're telling you that shit, they're lying, I know because I'm the number one player of the entire freaking game, And even I get, not scared of my opponents, but I get nervous, I get not it's not them, it's me, because of what I'm doing here. But like I said, the because nobody wants to have a bad performance, But see, this is where I was able to counter all that and to fix it. I was able to fix it because I'm just using I'm running with a 93 OVR gold team. You see? That's it. So I'm playing as I'm on the no stress express. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the no stress express. If I lose a match, I ain't tripping because I'm supposed to lose a match. I'm going up against players 20 plus my OVR. You see? I'm supposed to lose the match, They have 20 plus OVR more than I do. Which is insane. And people are like, "Oh no, you're winning because of the scripting, a script." Bullshit. Bullshit. I know that it's not scripting. It's not scripting. Everybody says, "Oh, you're winning because of your scripting." Nah, it's not about scripting. You know why? Because they're players. I can feel it. When they have their high OVR teams, their players are running way. I can see it. The players are running way faster than mine. You know, so I don't want to hear that shit when people say, "Oh, you're winning because of the scripting." Like, I mean, make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? Make it make sense. You know, being the number one player of a game, or in my case, multiple games. There's going to be haters. There's going to be doubters. Well, it's hard to doubt what I'm saying, right? With the haters, they know it's true on what I'm saying, but they still decide to hate because that's just what happens. It comes with the territory. It's just part of what happens when you're the number one player of whatever game you're playing. It's just it is what it is. Because they know you're not lying. They know I'm not lying about it. So what are they talking about? You see, they're just hating just for horseshit, for the shits and giggles. It's the internet. It is what it is. So, anyways, I could lose 1,000 matches, right? I could lose 1,000 matches in a row. And if I'm using this gold team, it wouldn't matter if I lose 1,000 matches in a row. I would still be the number one player of the entire game. Because what are they going to say? Oh, I beat Snipes. I beat his gold team. I had like a 115 OVR team or 120 OVR team. He had a 93 gold team. Oh, but I still beat him. Is that what they're going to say? And you guys see that in my descriptions, like in my long one-page description and pretty much all my FC mobile videos. I pretty much it's all there. I say if you win using a high OVR team, it's not legit. If you win using a higher OVR team and your opponent has a lower OVR team, then it's not legit, because it's not legit. And they just keep spamming their emojis with the red thumbs down emoji or the shush emojis. Like, come on, dude. You know, think about it. Jumping for joy. They're jumping for joy every time they get a win over me or some shit. When they have 20 plus OVR higher than my team, that's ridiculous. You know. But to each their own. It's in the game. Anybody can spam emojis and shit. But it's just about, you know, having some common decency, respect. It's like, okay, good. You won using a 20 plus OVR higher team than mine. Congratulations. If it's an even OVR matchup, I'm going to win that shit every time pretty much. So, I mean, think about it. Anyways, I can go on and on about all this shit, right? So, back to what I was saying. If you want to become a competitive FC mobile player, you're going to need to really focus on the mindset, right? On the mindset part, on the mental part. The psychology of the whole thing, the psychology of becoming an elite top FC mobile player. You got to make sure the settings are right. That way, everything's optimized. And for some people, people's settings are gonna be different than others, right? Because not some settings might work for some players, and then it may not work for others. So you have to go in there and go into the custom settings and make sure everything's good and your skill moves are good. And yeah, right. Like, these are my skill moves I use here. These are the skill moves I use here, and if you guys want to screenshot that, those are the skill moves I use. Right, lane change is the left button. Elastico is the top button. Open up fake shots, the right button. And heel flick is the down button. The one I really don't use that much is the open up fake shot. I really just mostly use lane change, heel to heel flick, and the elastical. But the open up fake shot is there if I need to use it. But I might change that with the roulette. This one right here, the roulette. Where's it at? Where's it at? This one. So if you don't want to use the open up fake shot, you can always swap that out for the roulette. Yeah. So, anyways, and of course, I'm running the 4-2-1-3 formation. I also like using. I also like using the 4-2-3-1 wide. 4-4-2 holding would be good also. 4-3-3 holding's good. Really, really good. Probably the second best one. 4-1-2-1-2 wide is pretty good also. There's the classic one here. 4-1-2-1-2 narrow is really good also. So these are the formations that I would be using. But I mostly stick with the 4-2-1-3. Yeah, y'all. So that's what it is. I think I pretty much covered most of it. The main thing is the mindset. Ask yourself what kind of FC Mobile player you want to be. What are you trying to do in FC Mobile? Are you just trying to play the game to have fun and be a casual player? That's completely fine. If you're trying to become a competitive player and climb leaderboards or something like that, then you're going to have to really understand all the types of the basics of FC Mobile, right? You're going to have to work on your shooting. Before you even think about the in-game stuff, you have to work on your custom settings, Make sure your custom settings are good. Make sure your formation is good. Your skill moves are all on the right slot, on the right direction. Make sure your skill moves are good, your formation's good. Practice in the training grounds. What else? Watch YouTube videos on how to do whatever part of the game that you need to work on, whether it's shooting, dribbling, defending, passing. You gotta learn how to do all that shit if you want to be at a competitive level, because that's what it takes. These guys know what they're doing on that already. They don't gotta watch the high elo players in FC Mobile. They don't have to worry about going on YouTube on how to shoot or how to defend or how to dribble or how to pass. They already know how to do that already. You see. So get that out of the way, all that shit out of the way. Make sure your team. Oh, that's another one. Make sure your team is right. Make sure your team is good. Your attackers should be fast. They should know how to shoot pretty good. 4-5 weak foot at least, or 5-5. High pace, high shooting. Midfielders, you want your midfielders to be able to pass really good. And if you can find the ones that have great defense also. They don't need to have good offense, but most defenders, most midfielders have a good mixed balance of everything. Unless you want to get the specific players that have a higher stat in a specific thing. Like if you want higher defense on your midfielders, then you go for those players. Or if you want more offense on your midfielders, go for those players. But I recommend just going for the ones prioritizing passing. That way they can get the ball to the attackers. And of course, for defenders, you just got to have the ones that have high defense, high work rate, and hopefully they have decent pace. Goalie, just pick a good goalie. Goalie doesn't really matter, you know, right? I have a gold goalie. Goalie doesn't matter because, yeah, if you have a really good goalie, he'll be able to stop. He'll make some stops, but if they pass your defense completely, and if a player passes your defense completely, and he's in the box, it doesn't matter what goalie you have, he's going to score the goal pretty much if he knows how to play the game correctly, right? So goalie doesn't matter too much. And yeah, y'all, that's pretty much what it is, like on how to become a competitive FC mobile player, right? The mindset of it all. And this is the kind of advice I'm trying to let y'all know about, and hopefully this video helps y'all. Hopefully this video will help you guys become better FC mobile players. FC Mobile is a great game, and the console version, FC 26, is out now. If you guys play that one, that's a whole different thing, That's the main game, but FC Mobile, if you guys love playing on the phone more, then the FC Mobile is the one. Another thing I should say about all this, is just, the whole toxicity thing. It's just complete 100% horse shit, players get toxic, and they start sending messages to each other, so whatever bullshit on Discord or whatever. It's just retarded, it's stupid. It's not about that. It's not about that, right? You don't have to like the player, you don't have to like your opponent either. But what I'm saying is, like, at the end of the day, competition, it's about respect, it's about respecting your opponent. Like I said, you don't have to like the guy, but what I'm saying is understand competition. People think competition is it's all about winning, 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 winning. Nah, man. Look, your opponent, and they teach this in other disciplines, like in martial arts, for example, right? Even though that has a bunch of toxicity also, but the people who keep their cool and the non-toxic people are the real winners, because your opponent is bringing out the best in you, right? He's there. It's like a test. You're there for a challenge. He's giving you his best, and you're giving him your best. And it's a performance. It's a show. It's a test. It's competition, right? And it's all about good friendly competition is always good, whether it's whether it's chill competition or as hardcore competition as it gets at the highest level. It doesn't matter. That person is giving you their best. They're giving you the opportunity to test out your skills. It's a competition. So in that regards, why would you be toxic to that person? Unless he was disrespecting you. But what I'm saying is, initially, why would you be toxic to that person if they're just there to show you, to bring your best? They're bringing their best so you can show your best, You see what I'm saying with that? So hopefully, and we're talking about grown-ups here, adults even just acting like little kids, right? People take this shit way too seriously. A lot of these guys were to the point where they're breaking shit in their room because of it, or whatever the fuck they do, when they deal with the raging and the coping and all that shit. Nah, man, just if I could say something to especially the younger guys out there, or even just anybody out there, just don't trip out about shit too much. Don't trip out about it. It's a video game. At the end of the day, it's a video game. And Just have a good time. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the game. If you want to be a hardcore player, okay, then go for it. But all that extra noise, you don't need to do that shit, you know? It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. It's non-productive and it's negative, and it just there's so much shit in the world going on right now already. You know, what the fuck are you gonna really talk shit to another guy about a FC Mobile match? Come on, man. Right? So it's about having some standards, you know, on that, on behavior and all that shit, you know. So yeah, you know, just enjoy the game, y'all. Hopefully this video will help you in your FC Mobile goals, as it did for me, on how I try to implement it. And then the end of the day, we're not perfect either. You know, I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. You know, so just give it your best shot. Enjoy the game. You know, have fun. Don't take the losses too seriously. You know, use the losses as an opportunity to review what you did wrong. You know, and maybe you didn't do anything wrong, but the guy still somehow, some way won the game. Every loss is a great way to review how to sharpen your skills, how to sharpen your game. So